What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down a silver DPS player trying his best to climb himself all the way to diamond, but he's really struggling, and he's struggling on the literal best DPS in the entire game right now in TRACER, who has tons of potential solo carry impact. So I'm going to be breaking down all the things he's doing right and wrong and give you actionable tips about how you can carry on this top tier DPS right now, and you can easily climb to diamond or even beyond in your ranked games. But go to the GameLeap website right now for more in-depth advanced VODs like this, tips and tricks. We got it on the GameLeap website, so go check it out in the links down below. But without further ado, let's jump into this VOD review. So right off the bat, let's talk about the enemy team composition and some things that you should be thinking about when you're playing TRACER, so that you know who to go on and who to target, so that you can get some really easy value and picks. So if we look at the enemy team composition right here, we see a Zen. First off, Zen is a really easy target to go after. Of course, if you get on top of a Zen when you have like 1 or 2 blinks and a recall, very easy for you to actually convert that into a kill, assuming the Zen doesn't get any peel. And of course, the peel is not a break or anything like that. It's a mercy, so it's gonna be pretty easy for him to actually go for this Zen. Actually, on top of that, you can easily build up a pulse bomb on this diva. You can easily build up a pulse bomb on this roadhog, especially if you abuse the high ground. Soldier's a tricky one because he can one-shot you if you get too close, but you can always find an opportunity to go after him if he doesn't have his heal station. Then it's pretty easy. And then of course, Mercy if the opportunity presents itself, and then Ashe, someone you have to look out for because she can headshot you and you're just gonna die out of nowhere, so you got to be careful of that person there. But let's go see what he does in this retake scenario. They're going to stop the cart. The Zed already died, so let's see what he does from here. So he's here. He already routed. He already used quite a bit of blinks, so I'm interested in how he's going to proceed from here, if he's going to wait for his blinks. This is a problem right off the bat. Okay, so he's in the middle. Okay, right off the bat, we just started this. Look where he's at, and look what he's facing. Okay, he has no blinks. He's about to get a blink, in all fairness. Doesn't have a blink yet. Ashe, Soldier, the Roadhog can't see him, but the Diva, he's not going to do anything here. There's no way he actually kills anyone here at all, or does any meaningful damage in any way. But there's also a chance that he just dies, for one, because he's facing the enemy team. And two, even if he doesn't die, he might have to use his recall. And if he uses his recall, now one of his best tools to actually confirm a kill and get out, it's already gone. So big mistake right off the bat. And yes, his teammates are dying, so he's probably not going to be able to win this anyways. But even still, if he would have instead like routed to the right or routed to the left, try to make a play on the enemy backline on the Zen or something like that, it would have been far better than doing this. So, but let's just see how it plays out. Okay, so no one's going to shoot at him, of course. Anyways, he's going to go here. His teammates are dying, so this is probably going to be a reset. He wants to make sure to die before the actual point like gets the objective. He wants to reset with his team, but he could go for something here if he wants to build up a little bit of ult shards. But let's see how he kind of plays it out. He's going to go into the back line. See, this is good. This is what he should have done right off the bat and never risked getting one-shotted or using his, like, losing his recall. But see, he's right on top of that Zenyatta, right? He has all 3 of his blinks and his recall. So he can spend 3 blinks and some damage to kill this Zen and then recall. So let's see what he does. Okay, I have no idea what his target priority is. And this is something that's really important. When you're TRACER, you need to have very specific target priority. Because TRACER can do quite a bit of damage if you get headshots, of course. But it's more about the burst and the specific damage. If you're just like poking here, poking there, you don't really have any like meaningful direct thing that you're putting all your ability value into, then you're not going to get enough value to get a kill. You're just going to do a little bit of damage. So instead, right here, he should walk out a little bit, walk out this way, and just poke the Zen, and then he can blink around this area and pressure the Zen out, and then he can recall back to this little cubby. That's what he really should be trying to do, instead of basically just poking, because that's basically what he does. He's just poking. He pokes a little bit at a healing Roadhog, not going to do anything there. He shoots a little bit at a Mercy, but he's too far away. He blinks into this Diva, full HP Diva, blinking into her, not really sure what he's trying to accomplish here at all. And he takes a little bit of damage, goes down to 113 on the recall. So like, yeah, no value. You see, like, he took this flank, he did essentially nothing. He didn't get a kill, didn't really do any damage, didn't build his pulse bomb, just a whole bunch of not doing anything, more or less. Even now, still, he can still kill this Zen. Wait, where are you going? The Zen. Where's this? The Zen, man. Okay. Okay, let's back this. Bro, this Zenyatta right here. This guy. Kill him. He's in front of you. Okay, so right here, this hog doesn't see you, this Zen doesn't see you. You just plant your feet. You just track this Zen. By the time he notices you, then you blink. You don't blink until then. You do as much damage as possible. The thing that you need to understand about Zens is the reason that if you're on top of a Zen when you have all your blinks, it's actually like impossible for a good Tracer to lose that duel, because you can do a little bit of damage to that Zen, and by the time he notices you and moves to you to try to do damage, you blink and you do more damage to him, and then you blink and do more damage to him, and by then he's dead. He never had a chance to actually consistently throw shots at your way because he's just taking damage. He's like imagine you take damage from the right, you look to the right, and then there's no one there, and then you're taking damage behind you, and you're like, what the heck? And you look there, and there's no one there, and then all of a sudden you're dead, and you're like, I didn't have any counterplay. Well, no. You hard counter Zen, and that's the point. So, but yeah, so you let this Zen go by you. I don't really know exactly why. And okay, so let's play that. You look at the hog, you're just ignoring the Zen. I like that you're focusing this Mercy, but the thing is, it's so funny. Because your like mistake turned into something that actually worked in your favor. Because this Mercy, I'm assuming this Mercy only walked into this room because she's like, there's no way that there's a Tracer here because my Zen just walked into this room and didn't take any damage. But you were there, you just didn't shoot at the Zen. And then she's gonna just walk into you and she's gonna be completely lost. And yeah, she's just gonna feed and die. So that's good. That was good on her. But the thing is, you probably could have killed the Zen too. And the thing is, even though you're actually down a main tank here because this is quick play and someone left. For reference in the future, if you want to be included in one of these videos, make sure to put your code, your rank, the character you are, in the links down below, or in the description down below, and please try to make it a competitive game in the future, just so stuff like this doesn't happen. It doesn't really matter for this game, but just for the future. But anyways, you could have actually killed that Zen, and then maybe got a stick, like a value stick, or maybe even killed this Mercy, and then this fight would have been winnable. But anyways, your team's somehow still contesting. That Zen is still living. He actually killed your hog, where he wouldn't have been able to kill your hog if you would have killed him. Okay, let's back that up. Let's okay. So let's say okay. I'm not gonna harp on this anymore. You killed the Mercy. Okay, so right here. Now, there's several things you could do. You have all three of your blinks and you have your recall. So you can ride around to the left side. Your team is about to die. Your Lucio's contesting, so you don't have to worry too bad about contesting. But if you could get a pick here, the enemy soldier's low in the enemy backline, so that could be a target. Of course, this is a Zen. Either of those would be a good target for you to pulse bomb or anything like that. But let's see what you do. So you route here. Okay, so this soldier is like this guy. Shoot him, right? You blinked in, a little ballsy, a little scary, if I'm being honest. You're in the middle of the enemy team, but you could honestly shoot this guy a little bit, melee him, and recall, and you got that kill in the bag. But I think this is something that really happens with a lot of Tracers. It happened to me a lot when I really was learning Tracer. I'm sure it's happened to you. It's when you have it in your mind that you're going to go in and use a pulse bomb, you're only thinking about using a pulse bomb. Like, that's it. You're not thinking about shooting. You're not thinking about anything else besides using a pulse bomb. That's kind of what it looks like. It looks like you're just like, I'm going to hit this pulse bomb. I'm going to hit this pulse bomb. And you're really tunnel visioning on the idea that you're going to pulse bomb and that's it. Because look, you're like looking around, you're like, who should I pulse bomb? You're not shooting. You're just like, should I pulse bomb here or here? And then you pulse bomb nothing and then you back up. Yeah, so there's several different things about like improving with pulse bombs. That's something that takes time. Honestly, the best way is to actually literally blink in and put like your entire hitbox on top of the enemy, pulse bomb. That's the easiest way to do it consistently. That's how SBB does it. He blinks in first, pulse bombs. He doesn't try to throw really far away pulse bombs. But honestly, you didn't even need a tunnel vision on this pulse bomb. You could have just killed that soldier and recalled. You could have had that pulse bomb for later on. Yeah, and I think you could really see how you could have carried this fight in many different ways. There was a lot of things that the enemy could have done to just shut you down right out the bat. They didn't do that, but even still, there were a lot of things you could have done specifically. And if you're ever playing Tracer, you need to always be thinking about your targets. Make sure that you're not peeking open space for no reason. And, of course, not getting completely tunnel vision when you're trying to hit pulse bombs. Okay. Zen died. He's dead. He's dead. Okay. But the enemy did cap, and this is kind of unfortunate. This is kind of, no, I'm not gonna blame y'all too bad. Like I said, y'all are literally down a person. You do manage to kill the Zen, so that's cool. And you step off for a second, and they actually cap. Honestly, you probably should have stayed on, done your best to stay on, but I'm not going to go too hard on you here because normally you would have a whole other person that would be able to help you contest, especially because it would be, I guess it's a support, yeah. So anyways, it's not too big of a deal, but then again, if you would have keep on contesting, you probably would have won this. Okay, so you're going after this hog. You can easily burst him down with your teammate. Nice, good shit. Okay, so now your team is actually going in here, so you can kill. You can still stay out here. There's no downside in staying here. The cart's not moving. Normally you want to reset, but because your team's here, y'all can just keep killing, and then y'all can back up after you wipe the team. You could go kill the Zen here, really easy stuff, which I'm sure you're gonna do. The Zen's not even paying attention. Yeah, easy kill. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like what I see. Probably instead of so after you kill the Zen, which is good, by the way. Like I said before, right here, you see the mini diva. There's a Mercy to the left right here. This is who you should actually be targeting instead. Like, I'm not saying you can never target tanks, but you really have a really big habit of targeting tanks a lot. And sometimes it's okay to target tanks a little bit to build ult charge and get their attention. But when you have like things that you could literally burst down, weaker things like Mercy and Zen and Soldier, that's a far better use of your like abilities to try to convert on those kills rather than just like doing really menial damage to especially a target that has armor, especially if you can't retreat. Yeah, you see like your hog's dead, so you don't want this card to move for free in a lost fight, and I think your diva's gonna stop it. Yeah, you're investing. Nice dragon from your Hanzo. You're going in, but once again, look at who you're targeting here. I can literally hear the Zen in my right ear. And he doesn't have his tanks with him. Obviously, right? His tanks, in fact, this dragon split his tanks from him. Look, watch, you'll see. So there's the McCree right there, so you could target that McCree if you really wanted to. But the soldier dies, but you're jumping off of this onto the enemy diva and hog. And there's a Zen and Mercy to your right, and there's a McCree underneath you, and you're focusing on these people. I don't really know why you really want to target the tanks so much. Not entirely sure. But yeah, definitely, I think you see it now. I know you see it. Just looking at this, you can see how your target priority is completely off on Tracer. Your mechanics are honestly fine. Your blink management's not that bad compared to a lot of Tracers that I've VOD reviewed. But your target priority really needs addressing here. Okay, you're on the Zen now. Yeah, danger zone. Really dangerous right here. You probably should... being here is fine, but you probably need to get out. What the heck? Yeah, just... You're kind of peeking open space here, not going on something definitively. I know you're weak. The Zen's missing a lot of shots on you. A better jump probably would have killed you. Doesn't really matter. But you do manage to kill this Mercy. Anyways, y'all are actually doing a pretty good job, if I'm being honest, as far as holding the enemy, especially when y'all were down people. You didn't have to overextend here. It doesn't really matter. Y'all are going to reset as a team. But, okay, I'm not going to go into more of this VOD review because I think I know your big issues. Like, the big two issues that I saw more than anything... First off, it's just the fact that you have, like, very little target priority. You really need to prioritize the squishy targets. We talked about those squishy targets here. Like, you know, the soldier can be, if he doesn't have, of course, if he doesn't have his heal station. And you got to be careful about getting too close because he can, of course, helix right, or, not right click, but helix you and melee you, and you die. The Zen is always a great target, especially when he doesn't have a brig or something that can definitively peel for him, which he doesn't. I don't know if this Mercy knows how to super jump. That's the big problem with going after Mercies as Tracer. If they know how to super jump, it can be kind of hard to actually consistently dive on that person because they just super jump away. That Mercy didn't look like she knew how. She hasn't done it yet, so that's a pretty easy target. And then now, but not these. You could poke these for ults. And then, like, if you were thinking about your own team composition, I mean, yeah, it'd be like the Hanzo. If the Hanzo's not paying attention, you could dive on him. Lucio's a little bit tricky, but Mercy, of course, and then you could always look for a pulse bomb opportunity. But I really hope that this really showed you some of your big problems. And then the second problem we got to talk about is you really tunnel vision on using your pulse bomb there, and then just like keeping that open space, keep that isolated. When you're peeking enemies, try to peek a small amount, peek them with intent, and then get out. Don't just stand in the open. You don't want this giant line of sight, because if you think about it, let's say you're up against an Ashe, right? If you're up against an Ashe, you want to only be peeking that Ashe when you are directly doing damage to that Ashe. You do not want to be peeking that Ashe when you were so far away from that Ashe that you're not doing any damage. And you can see that a lot in these fights where you're kind of standing in this open space right here and like dueling instead of like being up here or being in the window over here. You're like standing in this like this arena, and maybe yes, your silver, the people that you're playing with in silver or low gold, maybe they are punishing you, but I promise you better supports, better tanks, and better DPS would just shoot you if you're standing in the middle of the open. But I hope this really taught you some things. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If anyone else have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments down below. And of course, GameLeap website, if you want more in-depth VOD reviews like this over many different characters, we got a lot of them on the GameLeap website, so go check them out right now. But thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, comments, and of course, leave your replay codes in the comments down below. But thank you so much for coming by. That's all I got for you today. I'm Coach Mizzle, of course. Until next time.